we're ready to go. I somehow stopped mine, and I can't get it to start recording again. So.
Oh, what program
well.
is it?
Oh well. Filmora.
I don't know that one.
I just was Googling stuff, and there was a free.
Hey, if you guys,
trial.
if you want to play around with videoing and stuff, there is a program called DaVinci that is free, and I believe, well,
Every time
it's
Brad takes a drink, I'm going to take a drink.
Okay. I'll be passed out by the end of the night if we do that.
Yeah.
But it's a free movie editing software that's quite extensive and stuff. So it's pretty fun. All right. Let's see here.
So Scott, you're doing your sign on, like your hiring story, correct? That's the plan?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so obviously you can't introduce it because it's got to be Brad or I.
And tonight we have me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to have a go at introduction?
I can do it. I'm just going to wing it completely because of me. I haven't written a damn thing.
Except honestly, a bunch of FHA.
I cannot believe how busy, until like right now, I think I can finally stop working for an hour, and it's been going since 8 or 9 a.m. and I just haven't stopped. I don't take lunch. I forget to eat because I just get too busy.
That's me. Like if I'm in the middle of doing like mowing and landscaping stuff on my season, like I hate breakfast because if I wake up and eat breakfast, then I need a nap after breakfast. So I hate breakfast, and I'll start going and I will just work right through lunch or just float right through because I'm too busy and stuff. And by the time I get home, I haven't eaten since the day before that dinner. Yeah. And I'm like a freaking goat. Like I'll eat pickles and chocolate and peanut butter and bread and barbecue and whatever I could shove them on my face because I've got the shakes.
No, I got to do breakfast, but then I had a banana and orange juice, and then I didn't eat anything else till about 7 p.m. when I had Subway. Know how to eat great. Okay, so let me just think real quick. I have no idea. I'm just drawing a blank what I'm going to say, but.
Okay, no pressure, everybody's.
Yeah, no pressure. Hey, everyone. Welcome to My Ship Story. Eric here with Brad, and today we're going to have a welcome aboard story from Scott. His venture into how he got a job on cruise lines, and quite the adventure that was. So, Scott, it's all yours. Take it away.
Oh my gosh, I may need 5 or 6 Long Island teas for this. Hey guys,
breakfast?
So
breakfast?
Breakfast. Yes, my breakfast I guess would be a Bloody Mary and followed by a Long Island tea and then some rum punch later on the booze cruise. Man, okay, well, let's see here. I will try to talk as fast as I can, but understandable. So this is my story of how I became to work on cruise ships. Just a tad bit before that, I actually was teaching ballroom dancing out of a ballroom dance studio in Oklahoma for a few years. My mom and aunt and uncle used to go on a cruise, and typical, parent was like, "Oh, you should get a job on a cruise ship." And me, I think I'm 21 at the time, something like that. And I was like, they're not going to hire me. What? That's just, whatever. So unbeknownst to me, sometime, I guess this would be November of 91, my mom went to the library, checked out a book on how to get a job in a cruise ship or in the hotel industry, found a sample application in it, photocopied it, filled it out, and sent it to, I don't know, every cruise line and hotel or whatever. So
Wait a second. Your mom did all that?
yeah, I had
It
no
leads me
idea.
to believe that she wanted you the hell out of Dodge.
I get that now. Yeah. Yeah, she was like, "Please, how do I get him out of my house?" Yeah, man. I had no idea. Fast forward about 4 months later, March of 1992, I was working at a Thursday night ballroom dance party, and this is like 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock p.m. And I get this call from this guy. Hey, we want you to work on a cruise ship. It's the world's largest ship. It's a brand new ship. We want you to be a ballroom dancer, yada, yada, yada. And I thought it was somebody yanking my chain. Like, I thought somebody's punking me. So I was like, yeah, okay. Click. I hung up on the guy. And so I go back out to the floor. He calls me back, and they're like, hey, he's on the phone again. I'm like, hey. And then he told me, a little bit more. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is serious. What do I do? Sure. Okay. It sounds fun. And actually, one of the owner's sons used to work for Royal Caribbean. And so he was super excited, jumping up and down in the background and telling me all this stuff, what it was going to be like and how much fun it was and all this kind of stuff. And so I was basically like, yeah, okay, sure. Great. When? And, remember, this was Thursday night, and he's like, yeah, we need you and to fly out Saturday. And I'm like, Saturday, what month? And he said, like, day after tomorrow. So I was like, oh. So agreed and hung up the phone, freaked out for the rest of the night, didn't have any idea what was going on. I called my mom, and she, of course, started screaming and yelling on the phone. And that's when she told me that she did that, months and months ago, 4, 5, 6 months ago. So the next day, all day Friday, literally, like I've not gone anywhere, like Dallas for a road trip or something. So I had to buy luggage, bathing suits.
I've never left Oklahoma besides the trip to Texas. That's it?
That's it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So the next day, Friday, I had to buy everything. Clothes, flip-flops, bathing suits. Everything was still in the packages, still had the price tags on them, shoved them in my bag, and the next day I was gone. And so this is where the fiasco starts. Of course, this is Saturday, and the home office is closed at that time by the time I get in. So I mosey around Sunday, and, I checked in a couple of messages. And Monday, they said, all right, come here with your passport. We need to get all your stuff processed. You need to go to the Seaman Center for, all your, shots, paperwork, all that kind of stuff. And I thought, okay, great. Yeah, but I don't have a passport. He said he would take care of it for me. And the guy cussed me out on the phone and couldn't believe I didn't have a passport. I'm like, this guy told me he was going to take care of it. So I just, went, got the ticket, and I'm here. And I think I had probably $250, and the flight was supposed to leave the next day. So
that was a lot more money than I had when I joined the ships. I was lucky if I had like $10 in my wallet when I joined.
Oh, well, let me tell you, things are about to go south. So the next day I was supposed to, and I think you said you had to have emergency issued passport, right? So they said, get up tomorrow, go get emergency passport. I thought, yeah, no problem. He didn't really say when. I got up around, 1 or 2 after wandering around Bayside in Miami and all that stuff all night long. So I get up 1 or 2 and I kind of mosey over to the government office. And of course it's closed. Actually, at this point, the line was so long, it was hours before I got in. So I screwed that day. The next day, I called and he was mad, said, get up and do it the next day. I got up and did it the next day, and I went there, got there early enough, and it was a government holiday. So basically, all in short, I got the emergency issued passport. It cost me all but like $25 and the lunch and stuff that I had and the stipend and everything from staying 4 nights, living it up at the top of the Marriott, and $25 to my name. And the guy calls me, be down, a white van is going to pick you up. This is the last flight out. If you don't make it, if your stuff is not together, you got to find your own way home. And that was it. And I was like, holy crap, I'm about to be stuck with, $25 to my name in Miami, away from home. And remember, this is before cell phones. So I had no way to call home or anything. So I showed up, went outside early in the morning, sat on the curb. Like, I was just like, oh my God, please let this go right. Out walks, do you guys remember Penny Lesavoy?
Yep.
Penny walks out, sees me on the curb, comes over to sit down. Hey, what's going on? What are you doing? What, are you okay? And I told her the whole story. And she said, look, I'm going to take care of you. You stay next to me. I will get you where you need to go. This is my second or third one, however many she's done. And she took care of me all the way. So I went from Miami to France and back to New York on $25. And, maybe for a, part 2 story or something, but, we landed in France, I'll try to get it in. We landed in France. We took the Greyhound bus, whatever it was, on the Autobahn. This bus is doing like 100 miles an hour. And, of course, I think it's the coolest thing ever. We stop at this Denny's on the side of the road or something, whatever the French Denny's is.
France?
I don't think it was Denny's. Maybe it was Denny's. But they were going to buy the bus, everybody on the bus food. So we get in there and we go through this line, had this awesome looking pizza. And I'm like, all right, I'll take a pizza. I'll take that pizza. My first thing I learned in French was, I think it's pronounced ouf. Well, when you order a pizza, they crack a raw egg in the middle of the pizza. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? You just ruined my pizza. And I'm like, I want that, no egg. And they're like, pizza no oof. Okay. So, and then a friend of mine got a steak. And I thought, man, that's an awesome looking steak. Not knowing that they just sear, and serve it to you. You cut in and like it moves at you when you cut into it.
That's perfect. That's the way I like it. When I used to eat meat, that's the way I used to eat it.
Oh man, no, I'm a medium guy, thin red center, but it was still moving. But we finished that. We get to this. Did you guys both bring out a ship?
Yeah, I probably collected your passport at the airport. I was on one of those last flights as well.
Oh, really?
And yeah, I was one of the last pursers to arrive. And so when we landed in Paris, we had to collect everybody's passport, and we had them in these garbage bags, these big garbage bags full of passports. And so we were supposed to work on the train and checking all the passports and getting them organized. The train was so full, we couldn't do anything. So we beat the buses obviously by quite a lot, and we got there late and with garbage bags full of passports.
So you remember this village that we pulled into at like 2:00 in the morning?
Yeah. Well, I did, but I actually never went. I remember the villages, but because I was an officer, even a junior officer, we got to stay at a hotel. I didn't have to stay.
Yeah. Was this Saint Nazaire? Were you in Saint Nazaire?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you stay in a little like campsite before? Or did you go directly on the ship?
No, we stayed at this. All I can relate it to is Hogan's Heroes.
Yeah.
It was a camp little village with no lights because, like I said, it was 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. They got out and they gave us, we had our clothes, and it was like, I don't know, 40 degrees, 50 degrees, and it was cold.
It was cold. It was March.
These blankets were like wool, like from World War II. And we literally had our beds were these cots that had the junky looking blue and white striped beds that were tied up in a roll. Oh my God. Who was on the bus with me was David Bentley and the orchestra. Remember
Yeah.
Remo and David Bentley and Matt Engelberton or whatever his name
I
is?
remember that. Yeah.
So David Bentley took charge when we got to the village because he was like, listen, and like he bulldozed right through it. And I thought, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So we slept fully closed, got up, went for like orange juice and toast and to the ship. Oh, and the best part, we get to the ship, right? We get to the ship. Of course, the other stage staff. I started as I was supposed to be hired as a dancer. I pulled up to the cruise ship with my regular luggage, then I had a luggage full of like costumes and ballroom costumes and stuff. And I pull up there, and they're all expecting another stage guy. And I pull up, and I'm like, no, I'm a dancer. I'm supposed to be Amita. Do you remember a girl named Gay?
Yeah, Gay Hartman.
Gay Hartman was supposed
Yeah.
to be my partner.
Oh yeah,
I met her once years and years and years after all of this, but she was
Sure.
supposed to be my ballroom partner. And I showed up and they were like, oh, I guess they didn't tell you, but they decided against that whole thing. They want you to be the stage tech. And I was like,
Wow.
crap.
Oh no.
So
I worked with
like,
Gay
okay.
on Song of America, my first contract, and we'll save it for another day. But I have a story which I'm still debating whether I should share or not because it might be a little too racy, or actually kind of gross. So I don't know. Not about her.
Yes, share it now. No.
No, she was great.
Brad's like, yes, share that on the next show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, or we could keep that. Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah. Well, we'll have
hey,
to test it out first. But.
Yeah.
So
hey,
that was
Scott.
me. Yeah, that was me getting on the cruise ship. Hired as a dancer, decided against that. Had to send my luggage home after I got back from New York and walked onto the ship. And the rest is history. Helped build the parts of the ship. We went from there, the crossing, no passengers. So we were completely plastered the whole time. But that's also another story of the crossing story was pretty funny.
Yeah, I got a few of those between, once we got on the ship and between that and arriving in Miami. And one of those stories involves about peeing up a wall. Who could pee higher? Yeah.
Who could pee higher? I did not have that competition, but there was many different competitions involving many different things.
Okay, so that was in New York. It wasn't actually on the ship. We weren't peeing on the walls of the ship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no.
Well, that was my ship story on how I became to work on. And coincidentally, I'll leave this one more thing. When I got home after all of this, I did get a contract and an agreement signed from Delta Steamboat up the Mississippi River. Remember the old paddle boat?
Yeah.
That was another. They wanted me really bad, apparently, or whatever. So, but it was either Royal Caribbean on the brand new largest ship in the world, or going up and down the Mississippi on the Delta Steamboat, whatever it was called.
And mind you, that biggest ship in the world held about 2,400 guests and was about 90,000 tons or something like that.
Yeah.
Compared to the ships now that are 220,000 tons and hold about 6,000 guests, 5,000 or 6,000 guests, something like that. Insane.
That just baffles my mind. And when we pulled into New York and we're in that, was it West 48th Street, 49th Street?
Yeah.
And we're on deck 7 out of 13, 14, and you're looking down on the USS Intrepid aircraft carrier, the museum there. And I thought, wow, that was large. That was so huge. And they had to lower the steam packs on the Majesty to fit it under the Verrazano Bridge.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That?
Yeah,
and I thought, there can't be anything bigger. And now you could literally fit that one inside of the big ones.
Yeah, 2 of them.
Yeah.
More than 2. That's just crazy. I remember the QE2 was right in front of us too for a while when we were docked in New York, which was another just old classic ship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Fun times.
Fun times.
All right.
Is that it?
Are we going to call it a
We
good?
all done. We're all done for
Are we going to
today.
call it done?
I guess.
This is the
yeah.
fastest. Gosh, this went so fast. We used to just
Well,
fooling
you know,
around for an hour, 2 hours.
I think we're finally getting the hang of it.
Yeah.
And let's tell the story and get going, get moving.
Yep. That was a lot of fun. Man,
Yep.
brings back memories. See, just telling that story brings back so many sidebar memories of things that happened on the crossing, things that happened in New York, but that village, I'm telling you, that cold village at 3 o'clock in the morning on someone that has never been in anywhere before. I slept like this the entire night.
But you were only there for one night, right? You were just there for one night?
I think
it
I
was
was
more than one.
I think it was 2 or 3 nights.
Two or 3 nights. Okay.
Because I was there like
that
2 or
makes
3
more sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when I got to the hotel, I found out that I had a roommate at the hotel, which was, I mean, it was fine, but it's somebody I didn't know. And you just get there and all of a sudden you're going into a hotel room with somebody else. And it's like, hey, how's it going? And I'll tell you, the hotel room was old and those beds were like awful, like springs sticking up. I mean, it was like, the hotel was awful. I mean, the best thing about the hotel was the bar. Well, we just all would hang out at the bar and drink. But the beds were just awful. And we were there, I think, 2 or 3 nights. I don't remember, something like that.
I think the best thing for the hotel, because it was a hotel. It was not,
Yes.
I'm telling you, in my mind, I'm like, this is Hogan Heroes, except for real.
Well, I remember a group of pursers had to go check you guys in that late. We got in on the train like at 4 or 5 p.m. I believe it was, about 4 or 5 p.m. And then you guys got in way, way, way later on that bus. And because we had just traveled, we didn't have to check people in. But I remember pursers meeting you all just to make sure who had made it and checked you in and take you to the right places. Mm-hmm. And so all those pursers had to be up really late to make sure everybody made it.
Yeah, my the first two people I met walking on the gangway the next morning was Greg Hurd and Todd Gockley. Yeah. Bucky's brother and Todd Gockley, and then they took me to Murph.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And they razzed me the entire time. Oh, you're a dancer. Oh, you're a dancer. What are you going to dance? You're not going to be dancing now. You're going to be running Spotlight. But crazy stuff.
Brad, you
Good
want to
job,
take
Scott.
a thought?
Also,
I wasn't even thinking about that. You have to give me a second. I wasn't prepared. I was all prepared to just say, goodbye, guys.
Brad, you need to
I'll wait till you do your thing, and then I'll hit stop.
Yeah. I mean, obviously,
Right.
I know that the Majesty, we shared a lot of the same time on the Majesty with Scott, and then later on with you, but feel free to chime in anything it reminds you of. Did you ever do a new build?
Not with Royal Caribbean. I did mine with Renaissance. Yeah. I brought out 3. I brought R1, R2, and R4, I think.
And how long
I can't remember now exactly what ships I was on.
How long did you stay with Renaissance?
5 years.
So then you finished in the early 2000s?
Oh, 2001 is when I finished.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
9/11. I signed off the ship September 12th.
Oh, wow.
2001.
And you were able to get a flight?
No, I spent 3 weeks in Italy with Tanya, and then by the time I was trying to get home, Renaissance had gone bankrupt already.
Yeah,
because my plane ticket didn't work.
Because I remember I was working for Princess when that was going down, and so Princess bought 2 of the Renaissance ships, and so we had to get all that set up, moving those ships over to Princess, and one became Tahitian Princess, and the other one was, I think, Pacific Princess. I don't remember, and but that was a huge pain.
It must have been in French Polynesia.
Yeah, but we took over the ships in Singapore. The two ships were in Singapore, and then we sailed them over. And I remember going into Tahiti for the first time. As you know, Brad, the regulations in Tahiti are just insane. And what you have to prepare and get the ship, and like all this extra documentation and ridiculous visas and work permits, and I mean, it was just ridiculous. It was such a pain in my ass. Yeah.
Yeah, I did the crossing. So I brought a ship from Saint Nazaire to Tahiti, and on the crossing, I was just working I was a crew purser, and I was just working like crazy. I mean, I was just working all kinds of crazy hours, and everybody else was doing nothing. There was no passengers. There was no passengers on board this whole time. It was just the crew. And of course, nobody had, all these waiters and bartenders. Nobody had anything to do. I was like the only one working, except for the guys sailing. The deck and engine was the only people that were doing anything besides me.
Yeah, it was crazy. I don't miss having ships in Tahiti.
Yeah. Well, no, but once you were there, Tahiti was great.
Oh, the only time I went is
do anything.
Yeah, I took a 10-day cruise around Tahiti when I worked for Princess, and that was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. Loved Tahiti. Although a toothbrush cost you a simple plain toothbrush was like $10. Whoa. I'm not kidding. The simplest, cheapest toothbrush you could ever imagine. Jeff forgot one at home, and he had to buy one at the hotel at the Le Meridien, and it was $10. And I was like, "What? This is freaking outrageous!"
And that was in the 90s.
Yes. No, that was 2004.
04? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh man.
What's that?
So you guys were on the ships longer than I was, because 2004 we had already had kids that were 2 years old.
Yeah, no, I was working for Princess at the time, but not on board. I worked at the corporate office. And so I, had cruise benefits. So every once in a while we take a cruise, and we decided to do Tahiti. And that was well worth vacation. That was just.
I still want to go to Tahiti. I haven't been to Tahiti.
Yeah, it's just gorgeous. I mean, I just absolutely loved it. Loved it all. Every island we went to, I just loved them all. Tahiti was probably the one I liked the least. The other islands.
I liked all the islands that we went to. I mean, the Caribbean, either Eastern, Southern, whatever. I liked everywhere. The only place I didn't really care for was Freeport.
Oh yeah.
Like the world's largest shipping yard.
Yep.
Like you pull up to it, we look over the side of the rail, and you see these giant earth movers doing 60 miles an hour carrying dirt across
I'll tell you, the only time I ever was in Freeport, I never sailed there, but I don't know if you remember this. It was in the 2000s, mid 2000s.
Good story. So that wraps it up for the three of our My Ship stories. I guess that's how we say that.
Origin stories?
Yeah, origin stories. That's a good one. My Ship origin stories. Be sure and follow us on Facebook. We have Instagram, don't we, Scott? Do we have Instagram?
We have Instagram. We have
all right. We're going to have
soon to have YouTube.
We're going to have a YouTube channel. We have an email address if you want to send us your story ideas, or if you want to tell a story yourself. We're ready to take on board anybody else that has a story to tell and wants to join us on Skype or whatever, get their story in. So email us at myshipstorypodcast@yahoo.com. I always forget the podcast part. But anyway, and maybe we'll get a P.O. box or something where you can send us physical items as well, but who knows. But until then, you may now disembark the podcast.
Bye, y'all.
See y'all.
Bye-bye. See you guys. When are we going to meet up next?